Israel launches strikes on Iranian military infrastructure. From CNN's Jesse Young and Eugenia Yosef. Israel launched fresh airstrikes targeting military infrastructure in western Iran's Kermanshah city, said the Israel Defense Forces (IDF), on Monday morning. Earlier, Iran's state-affiliated Nur News reported that Israel had struck Parchin, a large military complex southeast of Tehran, in a strike during the early hours of Monday. Iran launched its own strike on Israel on Monday, firing a missile that was intercepted by Israel's air defenses 4 or 45 minutes ago. China, the biggest buyer of Iranian oil, would be vulnerable to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. From CNN's Nectar Gone. Oil tankers passed through the Strait of Hormuz. Oil tankers passed through the Strait of Hormuz. Ahmad I. Mohammed, Reuters. As calls grow within Iran for closing the Strait of Hormuz in retaliation for U.S. attacks on its nuclear sites, a key diplomatic and economic backer of Tehran would stand to lose from that decision. China. Connecting the oil-rich Persian Gulf to the open ocean, the Strait of Hormuz is one of the most critical oil checkpoints in the world. Some 20 million barrels per day of crude oil, or 20% of the global consumption, flowed through the narrow strait between Iran and Oman last year, according to the U.S. Energy Information Administration, EIA. For China, the world's largest importer of oil and the biggest buyer of crude from Iran, the Strait of Hormuz is even more important. China imported 5.4 million barrels of crude every day through the strait in the first 3 months of 2025, according to the EIA's estimates. That's equivalent to about half of China's daily average crude imports in the first quarter of the year, according to CNN's calculation based on Chinese customs data. On Sunday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio highlighted that vulnerability when he called on China to dissuade Iran from closing the Strait of Hormuz. I encourage the Chinese government in Beijing